Good morning. My name is Sarah Fye, and I'm going to present a personal reflection about worship. I've often thought about what an unusual thing this Sunday gathering is. We've all carved out an hour or so from our busy lives. We all left our homes this morning and transported ourselves to this place. We've joined together with this group of people, a mix of strangers, acquaintances, and friends. We mute our phones in order to bring our physical selves to each other. That's an unusual commitment in today's world. And what draws us? Live music, words spoken by a respective leader, the chance to listen to and puzzle over ancient texts, a yearning to make sense of today's world, a connection to God, to Jesus, a moment of quiet to pray, or the feeling of community, of not being alone, of being seen, of a place to offer our gifts. Maybe some of us are drawn to worship to reconnect with the familiarity of the Sunday worship structure. Now, I grew up in a church-going family, but honestly, as a teen, I couldn't wait till I could stay home on Sunday. However, when I was living on my own, far from home, I was surprised to feel the desire to reconnect with worship every few months. And now I'm here weekly. I have personal memories and connections to worship. I recall standing next to my dad, singing a hymn with the rest of the church, and as I sang the melody, I could hear my dad sing other notes. I didn't think he was reading the tenor line from the hymnal, but was hearing the chords and finding his line and harmonizing with me. Another meaningful moment was the time that Margaret Fullerton gave a sermon back in the 1970s about the experience of giving birth prematurely to the Fullerton's fourth child, the baby's fight for life during her first few months, and no doubt Margaret's spiritual experience of that time. That sermon pierced through my teenage armor. Finally, years ago, I was serving on a committee, and the chair mentioned that they were looking for people to speak about why they give to the church. I had not done much speaking during the worship service up to that point. However, I had a flash of realization at that meeting that I had a story to tell. So I volunteered, and weeks later shared my giving story during a worship service. It was the first time I had shared deeply about how supported I felt after my parents had died, and how that sad time drew me into an understanding of my relationship to God, and how those spiritual and emotional experiences affected my financial giving to the church. Now, I currently serve as chair of the Worship Planning Committee, or team. As you probably know, our team looks for different people from the congregation each week to read scripture, to share a personal story about their faith journey, to serve communion. During the service, you'll see us collect the offering. We also make sure the sanctuary is cleaned up and candles blown out after the service is over. And during our meetings, we discuss the structure of the service and do longer-term planning. The worship planners do these tasks to bring spirit and to bring the uniqueness of this congregation to our communal worship experience. Please let me know if you would like to volunteer for any part of worship or have a creative idea. And if you could help by serving on the worship planning team, we would welcome a few more members. We currently meet every other week for an hour by Zoom. So whether you assist with a part of worship or you serve on the worship planning team, know that your voice or your ideas may pierce the armor of a teenager, may help a young person sing harmony with her dad, or may inspire someone else to share their faith story for the first time, making worship meaningful and vital.